Hi, welcome to Vegas Talent, where we promote Vegas talent. I'm your host, Abby Ray, and I have Chris Talley here.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. Back in 2018, I was just about to graduate from undergrad. I was a geography major, and I started looking at all the jobs out there, and I thought, oh, these aren't fun. So instead, I bought a camera, and I just decided, let's try this filmmaking thing. And that summer, I shot my first TV pilot. It's not very good. It is on Amazon, but it's not very good. And then I fell in love, and a year later, I got into an MFA program, and the rest is history.
Nice, nice. That's cool. I started as an anthropology.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing? Well, it was anthropology and theater. I double majored, and then I'm like, no, I'm just going to do theater.
It's super interesting stuff to study, and then you look at the jobs, and you're oh, I don't want to do it for the rest of my life.
You're going to be in the dirt.
Yeah.
But then as an actor, you kind of have to do the same thing, in the desert, rain, snow, and everything. As you're a filmmaker,
Yeah.
Everything happens when you're filming.
Always.
Always.
Without a doubt.
Hail and snow.
Yeah.
Rain.
Yeah. Dealt with it all.
Let's talk about what your process is with making of films.
As far as my process goes, it kind of depends on the project and who you're doing it with. For me, it always begins with the script and something you can really relate to and pull a lot out of. I'm speaking very generally here because every project is so different, but a great script, people you can count on, trust to battle it out with you, because film's hard, and you need people who are going to be there for the easy days and the hard days, and then a lot of hard work.
Yeah, the crew is very important.
Yeah, it is.
We're very fortunate to have Tony and Justin here.
Yeah.
Behind
Thanks,
the camera.
guys.
they've been amazing, and that's very important for filmmakers, and it just makes everyone's lives easier, especially if you're, like you said, 12-hour days.
Yeah.
You talked about the script. It's important. How many script revisions do you go through?
Oh my goodness. We'll use my thesis, for example.
Okay.
I wrote it the year before I was going to graduate, and then the final year for my MFA program, you film it and you edit it. So I want to say I took it about a year of writing it, and I want to say I ended up with like 20 drafts. Wow. So it really changed over the course of what it began with, which was just words on paper, and then the final project, which as far as the script goes, it translates pretty well to the screen too. So there wasn't a lot of, the script is what the movie is, which is
that's
pretty
amazing.
good. Yeah. 20 times, and there's just a lot to work through. For me, the biggest thing is the film, the Red Sedan, was written about my childhood experiences with domestic abuse and what it was like for me and my mom fleeing a household of domestic abuse, and particularly what happens once you've already left, right? So everyone's like, why didn't you leave? Well, we hardly ever get to see all the obstacles you have to overcome while you're trying to get to safety into your next new home. So I wrote it based off of my own experiences, and the first draft was in the point of view of a small child, right? He was the main character. It was kind of from his point of view. Well, like you're saying, rain and hail and snow, the rule in film is like children and animals, they're super hard to work with. And so having a main character be a 7-year-old boy is tough, right? That's a lot to put on a child. So we had to switch up the perspective of the script to be told from the mother's point of view, and that was actually really interesting to cool. Imagine what my mom must have been thinking, and thinking back to those moments and trying to envision what was running through her head. So.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I didn't know. I saw it. I've seen the Red Sedan, and thank you for sharing that too. And it's amazing. And that's he's 7 years old, the kid.
I think he had just turned 8. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta say, that was really well cast. That kid carried that character, and the mother, and
yeah, he did so great. Jonah was the character's name. Grayson is the actor.
Okay.
His mom reached out to me. He had just done still photography, some modeling stuff beforehand, and had thought, hey, acting could be fun.
Wow.
And then I met him in person, and he reminded me so much of who I was at his age, and it was like this instant connection, and his mother was awesome as well. So, yeah, he really killed it. And so did Anna, the character, or the
mother.
person who played the mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta love it when just everything happens, you know, with casting. It's like, what is that? They say it's like 90% of your film, or what's the percentage for that?
Yeah, it really is. Probably 90%.
90%, yeah.
As far as working with the actors, and for the most part, I didn't have to give them a ton of direction either. Like, they just kind of existed, and we had the camera there ready to capture it, and cool. they were amazing. How
many people did you have to go through with the? Can we talk about the casting process that you did for that film?
Yeah, I had maybe, let's say 9 to 12 characters. But as far as the 2 leads, with Jonah, I met him, talked to his mom, and I talked to my producer was there with me, Natalie, and I was like, I think we're good.
That was it.
Yeah. So we stopped at 1 with him.
Wow.
With Anna, casting Anna, we went through. It wasn't Backstage. It was one of the online platforms.
The Actors Access?
Yes, we did that. Cool. And I knew, so we shot it in Little Rock, Arkansas. I just got to Vegas back in June, so in Little Rock, Arkansas, wanted someone who was phenomenal for the role, so we cast a wide range, and I want to say we got 1,600 submissions or something like that. Yeah, it was a lot, and then went through. I mean, I had to cycle that down 3 or 4 times before I had, I think, 100 people, and then I reached out to all of them.
Just for the mother?
Yeah, just for the mom.
Wow.
I reached out to all of them and saw who was interested, and that got it down to maybe like 30.
That is quite a process.
Yeah, so it was a lot. It was a lot to find her, but I met her, and I was like, this is amazing. And then we did it opposite. So usually, at least from what I know, you would audition someone, and then if you like them, you kind of do a call back and get to know more about who they are.
Right.
We did it the opposite. For me, it was really important that the right person play the mother, not just someone who was talented acting, but someone who would connect with it on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And so with the 20 interviews we did, we got to meet the person and like see who they were, and then offer auditions. And she, as soon as I saw her audition, I was like, this has to be Rachel. Yeah.
Aw. And did you do any like chemistry read with the mom and the son?
Yeah, so he was from our hometown, Little Rock, or Conway is where we were actually based. And then she flew in from LA.
Oh, okay.
So when she got there, the very next day I had them spend the entire day together. Her, the mom, and Grayson just went out and saw all of what Conway had to offer, and just got to hang out for a day as people.
Yeah, as like because they're supposed to be mother and
so you didn't want to show up to set and be like, that's your mom.
Oh gosh, I can't even. I have kids, and they're 10 and 11, and I've never been away. Well, now that I'm doing more films, and I'm going away to film them.
Yeah.
I've never been away from my kids. you know, it's like how do you build that relationship? That's like a day for them, right? But it looked real. It was amazing. It was a great film.
They adored each other, so it made it really easy. And her working with him was fantastic. Yeah. So, sometimes I'd be off dealing with cinematography or whatever, right? And she gave him so many notes and like whispered in his ear, okay, get ready. And like, it was really sweet. I got to see all of it. I edited the film. And so I got to hear like all the little conversations they had before we started. And it was awesome. Yeah.
It's rare that you get good, character, it's a great script. It's a great film. And then with great actors, it's really rare that it all comes together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
It is. With something like Red Sedan, it is so close to your heart. It's your experience.
Yeah.
And I know that's the most amazing, like, turning that kind of thing, turning that kind of hurt into art.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's kind of, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Like, there's
Yeah.
another dimension to it. There's, I called it my passion project from the get-go. But to speak on what I think you're getting after, one of my biggest reasons in the beginning for making this is that me and my mom had gone through these things when I was younger, and then as I grew up, we just never talked about it. And, you know, as I was 16, 17, 20, 22, I had things to say to her because she carried around a lot of guilt about what had happened, and I always thought that was unfair for her to feel so poorly, and I wanted to say these things, but to have that conversation was tough, and I didn't know the words or anything like that. So then writing the script was my first chance to like say what I've been thinking in a different way that was easier for me. And I knew that if we could make this film, that I could show her, like actually see on screen, like this is how I felt about this, and this is what I wanted you to know. And so it was really special. It was really therapeutic, like I said, going back, thinking about the mother's perspective, thinking about what my mom must have been going through. It was super, super therapeutic, and not easy.
No,
the first time
definitely. That's not easy. But it shows in the finished product, and it was very moving. It was really amazing. It gives hope.
Yeah.
And it was like a love letter to your mom.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and I love that. And I think a lot of people respond more to stories like that are real and that are, you know, you never know how many people are going through that and they just don't know how to deal with it. You never know how many mothers are going through that and they don't know how to deal with it, and kids. And so that's just amazing how you're using filmmaking as a way to reach out to those people.
Right. So it started in that like really personal spot for me, but as I was doing it, I started doing research on domestic abuse and trying to figure out more perspectives, because I'm one person and there's so many angles to it. And so I started reaching out to groups and to people, and then as I started promoting it and saying, hey, we're making this movie, more people started reaching out to me. And so there's a stat, 1 in 5 people have either been directly affected by domestic abuse or know someone who has been. Mm-hmm. And then if you think about the pandemic and all the people who were stuck inside, domestic abuse went up in a significant way, and the help for those women or men or children, right? It went down because everyone was stuck at home. There was no way to reach out for help. There was no way to find those resources to get out of the situation. And so I think it was, for me, it felt very timely as well.
And when did you release it? Was it during the pandemic?
It was May, kind of, sort of, whenever the pandemic ended, quote unquote. But yeah, it was May of 2022. So
okay. Recently, okay.
It was pretty recently. But yeah, just realizing that we did have this platform, and that maybe people who haven't had to deal with domestic abuse, thankfully, could still have some insight into how hard it actually is and how complicated it is. And maybe we can do some good for people that are still suffering from domestic abuse today. So one of our plans, not to rattle on, but one of our plans is, once the festival run is over, is to have a benefit night with it, get some other short films that are like-minded, and maybe, you know, do a donation thing that night and have a whole night of it, and then take those donations and donate it to local shelters and some national shelters, as well as hopefully get it online somewhere where we could do a national benefit as well.
Wow. I was going to ask you, when can we expect that? I know festivals is, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. I think I'm going to stop mine shorter, because I think helping people would be more important than getting into festivals. So hopefully next spring.
Okay, cool.
Would be perfect. And it's going to take a little time to plan out as well.
Right.
I don't want to just slap it together. But I'm trying to get it out there and trying to help people sooner than later.
Definitely. And thank you again for doing that. That's amazing. That's the goal. What do you have to say to Vegas filmmakers or anybody in the film community?
Plug for us, for you guys, Abbey Ray Studios. You know, filmmaking is hard. It is especially hard by yourself. And since moving here back in June, really been trying to find the community that's here. And I think right now you're kind of head starting that. You're starting to build that community, and lots of pockets of really talented people who just haven't got a chance to connect with one another yet. And so I'm really excited to see what the studio does, what we can do together. And I think the more we can support one another, the more we're honest with our feedback, and we don't just champion everything, but really give some truthful
Advice.
Yeah. To people. I think we can start to make some really awesome things. So that's my biggest thing, is no matter where you go, you're always going to need a community of people you can trust and you can rely on. And I think you're starting that here, and I'm just super excited, and invite anybody and everybody to come join us.
Awesome. So, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Vegas. I forgot to tell you that. I forget you're new here.
Yeah.
You caught us in the monsoon season, so usually it's very dry and very hot.
It's crazy. All the casinos were flooding.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, that's normal.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yes, and you know, Vegas, the film community in Vegas has been really good to me, and it's been, you know, and this is kind of like my way of thanking everybody. Thank you, Vegas film community, because you guys are amazing. You know, you gave me things to work with. You have projects, and that's the reason why I have my resume. I was able to build my resume because of what people are doing here.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and I love seeing everyone together. We're going to be doing a lot of mixers. At Abbey Ray Studios, we're going to have mixers hopefully every month, and we're going to have some casting calls. So our first one, I don't know when this is airing, but our first one is Sunday. So hopefully every month we'll do that, and we'll bring, you know, actors and filmmakers together and make some amazing things. So I'm really excited. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that there's, you know, people are coming to Vegas, bringing their talents and everything, and it's amazing, and we're just grateful to have a community, a city that's growing.
Right.
And trust me, I've been here for like 25, 26 years, and we had nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that we're, you know, now we have the arts district, and we've got, you know, filmmakers doing their amazing stuff here.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg is here.
He's
here, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get better, I think.
I think so too. I'm really excited.
And is there anything else you want to say, or are you on social media?
Yeah, my own production company, Sunset Moon Productions. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and probably not Twitter. I don't think I did Twitter, but I also have a website. I do freelance work, so if anyone needs a director or an editor or assistant director, I'm happy to come help out or just talk about how to make short films in general. So,
awesome. And thank you for coming again, and thank you for sharing your story and your film and your talents.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching Vegas Talent, and we'll see you next time. For more information, you can go to our website, www.brightstaractingacademy.com. You'll also find links to our teachers. You'll find all our classes on there. We can also go to our website at abbyraystudios.com, and we also do a lot of services for the actors.